First of all, what is the mean of the audit? What is the mean of the audit? That audit is an examination of accountancy by authorized expert. It means the compilation of so many files or data which create in the one form. Okay. This will be first of all the according to identification, that is the ISO 19011 audit is a systematic, independent and document process for obtaining audit evidence and the evaluation it objectively to determine the extent to which audit criteria are filled. So this is the mean of the audit. And what is the mean of the environmental audit? Here, this energy and green audit is made in the form of the environmental audit. It is mentioned in the environmental audit. Okay, that is the sub part of the environmental audit. That is the main. So we can first of all understand what is the environmental. What is the environmental audit? The environmental audit organization in the United States in 1970s as a checking.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, your slides are not moving, sir.
Already, ma'am.
Sir, we are able to see the screen, sir, but the slides are not changing. Yes, sir. Now we are able to see the changes, sir.
Okay. So, what is the environmental audit? Okay. That is the first of all mentioned the United States 1970s, that where the checking complying with multitude of the new environmental laws and regulations. In this environmental law and regulation, we are mentioning about we have to protect, or we have environmental management practices we are equipped through the different procedures. That is the audit is the term taken from the financial accounting, as like we see to enter the nations of variation of practices and certificates of the data in terms of the environmental management. The objective of audit includes, they are some of the main objective in this pro forma we are describing in short. That is the organization and interpretation of the environmental monitoring data, which establish a records of change associated with the implement of the project or the operation of the organization. That in this form of process. So the second is the process of verification that all our selected parameter which are compliant to regulatory requirements, that is the internal policy or standards or established environmental quality performance, they are the some limitations we are presenting. Third one is the comparison of project impact prediction with the actual impact for the purpose of assigning the accuracy of prediction regarding the environmental audit. We are predicting about what we can do in this best way or in future ways. The assessment, the next one is assessment of the effectiveness of the environmental management. That systematic practice and procedures. We have to describing that in this, we have to first mention which kind of the management we have produced and which practices are involved in this and how to this procedure is providing. Next one, the determine of the degree and the scope of the necessary remedial or control measure in case of the non-compliance or in the event that the organization environmental objections are not achieved. In this process, we are some of the remedial and control measurement we are doing. Now, so starting the environment green audit. What is the green audit? Actually, we see the what is the green. Green means we know about the green and audit. Dear friends, it is a very important factor that is essential.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So sorry to interrupt, sir. We are not able to see the changes in the slides. Sir, can I present the slides from my end, sir?
Now?
Yeah, now we are able to see the changes, sir.
Okay.
Or else, can I present the slides from my end, sir?
Okay, no issue, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Is it visible, sir?
Yes, next slide, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So the green audit. First, what is the concept of green audit? In normally we understanding about we have to evaluate it the campus. Near about the campus, we have the greenery or plantation process. how much plants we are required, or which kind of the plants, or which species, genera. So many kinds of the practices we are identification and compilation in this process. So this green audit, if we see, you have the university level or autonomous level or college level, we have to one department, that is the botanical department. This botanical department, botanical subject teacher or fellow, which have easily to evaluated or collected the data of the plantation near about the campus. So see, green audit is the process of identifying and determining whether the institutional practices are eco-friendly and sustainable. The main objective to carry out green audit is to check green practices followed by the educational, institutional, and to conduct a well-formulated audit report to understand where we stand or scale of environmental soundness. That is the short is the concept of this green audit. So reducing the environmental impact. How to reducing the environmental impact? We reduce the waste, we reduce the water and energy cost. Annual saving are typically greater than our free audit. Improving the relationship with stakeholders, providing the foundation of the environmental management, means EMS, such as ISO 14001 at the later date. Next one. Next slide, please. So it is divided into on-site. That is the first one is on-site. What is the on-site? We understand the scope of the audit, the analyze. If you work on the green audit, we have to understand first of all what procedure we are follow for the on-site green audit. We have to mention in the 5 points or 5 points, which is number is understand the scope of limit, which is what is the scope of the our campus and college limits, analyze the strength and weakness of the internal controls, conduct the audit, evaluate the observation of audit program, and prepare a report of the observation side by side. That means the collected through the on-site. It means what we have collected so many data on the on-site as a preliminary data. Okay, the observation through the internal controls or conducting the audit. Next slide. So the types of green audit. We are discussing two types. That is the one is internal audit and external audit. So what is the meaning of the internal audit and what is the meaning of the external audit? If you the green audit, green internal audit, it means we have to collect through our college experts, any experts. That is but that expert which are in the department of botanical, because botanical department science teacher, we have easily understand and collecting this data. So that's where that is the internal audit. So next one is external audit. What is the external audit? External audit, it means what? Other than the college or any environmental lead or editors or private agencies like state government, central government, forest, any kind of the industry, like state boards, our pollution control boards, and any other commission which can evaluate the external audit. But this audit is, these external audits is recommended by the central government or state government approved agency which is evaluated that. Next slide, please. There are three main audit stage of phase: pre-audit, audit, post-audit. These two types of audit we are seeing, internal and external. Both are the same procedure are found. That is the first stage pre-audit, second audit, and post-audit. So what is the pre-audit? Pre-audit, it means the planning. We have to plan how to conduct the audit report or how to include in this audit report. We are created a teamwork that is include a mixture of seal, talent, and perspective. That will depend on the create an audit plan, request and review document including in this pre-audit. Next slide. This pre-audit permit application, production records, reports, previous audit include correction, action, status or priority audit items, prepare a list of questions that regulate would ask follow-up question or prior audits, and request for the additional material need. If you want, other than the material we want to require, we can use this process. Next one is fill in the disclose of violation tables as issue as identification. We have to create any tables. Next one, that is audit. That is the process of actually audit. In this we have process, pre-audit, post-audit, and that three types stages of audit. The second is audit. In this audit, the college has been conducting green audit format and audit committee. We have to perform or create an audit team. That audit team is, we mentioned before, the some technicals, science teachers, and senior most teachers we are included in this team. That will be evaluated the procedures and follow the, evaluated the reports and follow the procedure. That is, set the ground rules, number one. Second is determine the what happened, which issue are identified. Number two, conduct daily meetings to keep every informed. Number three, perform a document review. This is the main essential three factors which have to use for the preparing of the audit report, green audit report. That ground level rules, determine the what issues are identification, conduct the daily meetings. We have to the like IQC committee, green audit committee. We have to conduct meeting every weekly, monthly, or daily basis as per the procedure. Next is perform a document review. What is perform a document review? We have to create policies, complaints, training, air, water, waste, noise control, monitoring and records. We have to evaluate in our surrounding compounds, and emergency response also procedure in this procedure audit report. Next slide, please. So that next one is response to complaint and check document for the complaints, consequence legal complaints, and whether it's up to date. We are performing that audit. Next one is conduct a site inspection. When we prepare the before prepare the report, we have to inspect the site. Conduct a site inspection for the preparation of the plantation process. Then evaluation operation for complaints. Take simple of needed. Interview EHS panel, operation management maintenance. The EHS panel means operation management maintenance, to see if policy are understood and constantly handled by this process. Discover issue of concern. Conduct a closing meeting, listening and discussing of all issues. Develop corrective action for each issue as a committee members. Next slide, please. This is the second audit, that is post-audit. In the post-audit, we, the college authority or university level, autonomous levels, review the environmental related initiatives that are implemented according to internal green audit report. This it formulate the action plan for the next academic year during in order to have better environmental sanitization. When we conducted the academic year 2020-2021, the next we have to prepare ideas or next academic year performance, what we can extra adding or performing the procedures. The next is preparing the environmental audit report or disclose of the violation forms. It means we have to prepare the environmental audit, means green audit reports, that will the listed confirm issues and area of concern in our surrounding area. Thus listed action items are required follow up, and that issues we are content to follow to this committee. This committee means green audit committee. Next slide. That is the energy audit. In short, energy or green audit. In shortly, we understand that is, if you see in short or summary, summary is a mention about that. The green audit, it is a collection of the campus, surrounding the campus, which species, which plants, genera are the present in surrounding area. What is the, for example, your institute area is near about the 6,000 square meter or 1 acres in near about. In this, we have to calculate how much area occupy the building construction, and how much area occupy the gardening purpose, how much occupy area the plantation process, and how much occupy area free space. and how many plants are involved in our campus, the total number of plants divided by, sorry, the area of the total area of the campus divided by total number of plants, and how many area acquire the plants, and how many area which are free space from the plantation. Okay, that is your green audit. The next is energy audit. So dear friends, this energy audit we have to same as like the green audit, because in green audit we have evaluated the greenery plantation, and it is created for the supporting for the energy creation process. And energy audit, it is the same as we reduce the energy from the electricity, or we create the energy from the other artificial resources or man-made resources through the energy. In this energy audit, we see we can define as an inspection or survey analysis of energy flow in the structure, in a process, or in a system intended to reduce the amount of energy input without negatively affecting the outputs. So we see we have to, in our campus, near about 50 rooms, 60 rooms, 10 departments, 20 departments, and each department, each hall, we have to so many kinds of the bulbs, tubes, fans, AC, so many. But in this process, we have to evaluate it by every department wise energy evaluation. For example, in your department, you have to 4 department: physics, mathematics, chemistry, environmental, or any other department, or engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, computer engineering, any department. We have the departments, and that departments we have to so many kinds of the instrument, as like 20 to 25 instrument. That department, how many instrument? 20 instrument. Each instrument have how many energy require, or how many energy we have to use for the working for this instrument. We have to properly evaluate it or observe each and every instrument and calculate the how many energy that will be captured or that will be used. So in this energy, the energy audit is the key to system approach the decision making in the area of the energy management. It attempts to balance the total energy input with its use and the serves to identify all the energy system in the facility. In an energy audit, will identify energy saving opportunity. It will be help you understand your energy usage and way to use energy better. Okay, an energy audit can identify safely concern with electrical system, wiring, and ventilation, thus making your home safer. That for the in energy audit. For the conservation of energy is the best option is energy audit, which are the energy audit is process to determine when, where, why, and how energy is used in the plant or building. It is a very essential, important question for all of us. When, where, why, and how energy is used. Okay, when, where, why, and how energy. Okay, this is a very important fact. We have to identify in this manner, that is when, where, why, and how energy we use in the building or the plants. The collection of this information helps to identify the situation where there is need to improve energy efficiency and decrease production cost. Okay, as per the Energy Conservation Act of 2001, in this Energy Act we are identify the verification, monitoring, and analysis of use of the energy, including submission of technical reports containing recommendation for improving energy efficiency with cost benefit analysis and an action plan to reduce energy. Okay, next slide. So what is the need for the energy audit? It is a very essential need for the energy audit. Why? Because we are earlier slide we see why, when, where, and how energy we are used in this process. In this identify, we see the industry or any college or any operating system or any plant. There are 3 top operating expenses are often found to be energy. that is the thermal or electrical, labor and material. If one were to relate it to the magnitude of the cost or potential cost savings in each of the above components, energy would variably emerge as a top ranker, and thus energy management function constitutes a strategy area for cost reduction. This energy audit will help the understand more about the energy, way energy and fuel are used in the any industry or any plants, and help to identify the areas where waste can occur and where scope is improvement existence in the energy audit. This energy audit would give a positive orientation to energy cost reduction, prevention, maintenance, and quality control program, which are vital for the production and utility activity. Such an audit program will the help of CAPE focus on variation which occur in the energy cost, availability and reliability of the supply of energy, decided to appropriate energy mix, identify energy conservation of this energy, or the equipment conservation of the technologies, retrofits for the energy, conservation of equipment, etc. We are identifying in this process. Next slide, man. This energy audit given a positively orientation to energy cost reduction, prevention, maintenance are mentioned is this energy. We have to important for this, and we have to less such as the audit program will help the CAPE focus on variation which occur in the energy cost, availability and reliability of supply of energy, decided on appropriate energy mix or identify energy or conservation of technology or rectify the energy conservation equipment in this process. In the energy audit, the transition of energy ideas into realities by leading technical feasibility solution economics and other organizational consideration with a specific time frame we have to evaluate it in this process. If is the primary objective, what is the primary objective of energy audit? It is to determine the way to reduce the energy consumption per unit of product output or to low operating cost. It means what? We have to in how to conserve the how to use the energy and how many energy we are conserved in our departmental or hall or any purpose level. So this energy audit provides a benchmark or it is a referral point for maintaining energy in the organization and also provide the basis of the planning a more effective use of this process energy throughout the organization. Next slide, ma'am. So now, what is the types of the energy or types of energy audit? If you see, that is the types of energy audit to perform depending on the three main factors, that is function and type of industry or institution, the depth to which final audit is needed, potential and magnitude of cost reduction desired. That is the main factor which are the depending of the this type of the energy. Thus, the energy audit can be classified into two types: preliminary audit and detailed audit. In preliminary audit, it means as like the pre-audit, and detailed audit is as the audit. Okay, next slide. So first, what is the preliminary audit or this method? In this method, we have some exercise we are described, that is establishing energy consumption in the organization, estimate the scope of the saving, identify the most likely the easiest area of the attention, identify immediately, it means especially low cost improvement savings, set a reference point, identify area of more detailed study measurement. Preliminary energy audit uses existing or easily obtained the data. In this methodology we have to identify. So what is the detail of the energy methodology? If you see the primary audit, same as like primary audit phase and post audit, means pre-audit, audit and post audit, same as like the green audit. In this comparative study, we see the audit provides a detailed energy product implementation plan for faculty, since it evaluates all major energy using the system. This type of audit offer the most accurate estimate of energy savings cost of the energy instrumental energy. It considers the interactive effects of all projects accounting for the energy that use all the major equipment and the include detailed energy cost saving. That calculation and project cost will identify this process. In the comprehensive audit, one of the key element is the energy balance. This is the base on the inventory of energy using the system as assumptions of the current operation condition and calculation of the energy uses in the instrument or any plants. This estimated use is the compared to utility bill charges. Detailed energy auditing is carried out the three phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. That means pre-audit, audit and post-audit. Next slide, ma'am. That is the guidance of the conducting energy audit. If it is simple method, we are explaining that we have to first of all, we are categorized for A, first, second, third, A, B, C. In this category, we have to identify how many departmental are present in our college, how many halls present in our college, how many office present in our college, and divided by the each hall, departments and office, how many energy consumption day per hour, 12 hour or per day, per week, per month. We have to calculate it. If you calculated the day by energy or hour by energy, we are easily identify how many precaution we have to get to reduce the energy. Okay, so which is the comprehensive 10-step methodology for conducting energy audit at field level is presented below. The energy manager and energy auditor may follow these steps to start with and add change as per their need and industry time. In this C, we have to firstly identify how many departments, how many, and in department, how many bulbs, how many tubes, how many fans and other electric instruments are present, and which can, how many times we can use, and how many each and electric instrument, how many energy consumption at a hour or day basis we are calculated through the procedure. That will be easily identify the physics teacher or electronic teacher will be easily identify and the prepare this report. Okay, so in our department, if you see so many kinds of the instrument we are used, so each and every instrument, same as like we have to evaluate it, each and every instrument how many energy consumption for the working this process. And that is one thing is that we have to ventilation is very important through this process. Why? Because if we use the ventilation process, we have to reduce the energy we have to reduce the energy from the ventilator, because the sunlight is passed in the hall or department, so we can less use the tube lights or bulbs or any other kind of the instrument. Next slide, ma'am. So the first phase or pre-audit phase activity, what we can do this first phase, we have the structure of methodology to carry out an energy audit is necessary for efficient working, and initial study of the site should always be carried out as the planning of the procedure necessary for an audit is most important. This audit phase or pre-audit reports. Initial site visit and preparation required for the audit, detailed audit. We have to firstly, an initial site visit may take 1 day and give the energy auditor or engineer or opportunity to meet the personnel concerned to familiarize him with the site and to set the procedure necessary to carry out the energy audit. Okay, during the initial site visit, the energy auditor or energy should carry out the following action. Okay, in this energy audit, we have to also create a committee or a body. In this body, we have to work some teachers that are present in physics teacher, mathematics teachers, physics teacher. We have to evaluate the energy or how much watt or energy we are consumption, and mathematics teachers we have the calculation of this procedure. Next slide. So this teacher will discuss the site scenery management aims of the energy audit, discuss the economic guidelines associated with the remuneration of the audit, analyze the major energy consumption data relevant panel, obtain site drawing where available building layout, team distribution, compressed air distribution, electricity distribution, etc. We are informed is procedure. Tour the site combined by engineering or production. Next slide. Which are mentioned in this, and this will be calculated or evaluated this process, and it is a performed in the file pro forma or collective data. The main visit of this site visit to finalize energy audit team. Lastly, we have to prepare a team for energy audit, same as like the energy audit. In this, physics teacher, mathematics teacher, and other teacher will involve for the evaluation of this report. Next, to identify the main energy consumption area, plant, atom to be surveying during the audit. Firstly, we have to identify which area we have to consuming the area to identify the energy audit, and to identify existing instrumentation, additional material requirement, as we say or informing of recently you, to decide whether any meter will have to be installed prior to the audit, kilowatt energy or watt energy, steam, oil or gas meters also they are required. To identify the instrumentation required for carrying out the audit, to plan the time frame. Time frame means what? We have to a deadline. We have to evaluate it, or we have to prepare the report in this period, or 1 day, 2 day, 1 week, 1 month is as possible your time consumption. To collect the micro data on plant energy sources, measure energy consumption concentrates, to create the awareness through the meeting programs. And we have in this procedure we have to micro data means how to identify the plant energy resources or major consumption energy center. We have to reduce the energy, and we have to create a meeting and to teach or to inform the consulting teacher how to reduce the energy or how to do awareness of the energy process. Next slide. So second one is the detailed energy activity or audit process. Means second phase is energy audit. In this energy audit, we first with the setting of the procedure or methodology, and we have second is the collection of the data. Is depending on the nature and complexity of the site, a competency audit can take from several weeks to several months to complete. So this energy report or energy evaluation or calculation, it is not a 1 day, 1 hour. They have to make more time or a week or month. We take them 1 week or 1 month. Why? Because of the depend on the structure of the institution and the area of the institution, and it also depend on the instrumentation of our departments. Okay, and each and every departmental instrumental we are evaluated and energy consumption of this instrument. The detailed studies to establish an investigation energy and material balance for the specific plant departments or atom or process equipment or carry out. In this same as like we have to evaluate it, the plant departments or any plant which equipment have carried the energy, how much energy we have to identify and note it in your file. Whenever possible, check of plants operation are carried out over extended period of time at night and at weekends, as well as during normal daytime working hours, to ensure that nothing to overload. So in this we have to, something is identified, that is what how much energy consumption in day period and how much energy consumption in night period, and also how much energy consumption in daytime working hours. For example, your practical working periods or your theoretical period working periods, how much energy consumption. It is essential for the noting this energy load, and that energy load overload is not necessary, means it is not over than the receiving the energy. Okay, this audit report will include a description of energy inputs and products outputs by the major departments or by major processing function, and will evaluate the efficiency of each step of the manufacturing process. That is a very essential way. We have to evaluate the processing of function of the major departmental energy. Okay, means of improving this efficiency will be listed, and at least a preliminary assessment of the cost of the investment needed. These audit report, sorry, cost of the improvement will be made to indicate the accepted payback on any capital investment needed, which is essential for this process. The audit report should conclude with specific recommendation for detailed energy study and feasibility analysis, which must then be performed to justify the implementation of these conservation measures that require the investment in this energy audit reports. Next slide. So this information collected during the detailed audit include, we have some specific points we have to work on. These points are identified. That is energy consumption by the by type of energy, by type department, by major item, by process equipment, by end users. That is the essential way. Next one is material balance data, means raw material, intermediate and final products, recycled material, use of the scrap or waste product, production by the product for reuse in other industry or any plants, etc. Next point is energy cost and traffic data. It means what? How we have to check the energy bills, electricity bills. This electricity cost, how many costs are every month, how many costs paid by the government energy board. For example, in 1 year, we have to 12 bills are collected, but we see the 6 bills are low, 3 bills are very high, and 3 bills are middle. So we have to evaluate what is the difference between that. So some bills are high, some bills are middle, and some bills are low. That is also data, means traffic data we are evaluated. What is the behind this also we are identifying. Process and material flow diagram. In this process or material flow diagram means we have to create a diagram or flow chart, which department or which instrument or which building have excess energy utilized in this department. We are mentioning in the flow chart or flow diagram, and lowest energy we conserve. This department also identifying flow chart. Generation and distribution of site services. It means we are compressed air or steam we are also in use. Sources of energy supply. Okay, the sources of energy supply we are two types. That is the electricity from the grid or self generation. Self generation means what? Solar energy through solar light, solar electricity, solar power plant. We have to creating or solar. In this, we have to some energy we are produced by this solar system. That is very essential. Okay, these two both are factor we are separate or different by the source of energy supply. The next is potential for fuels substitution, process modification, and the use of the co-generation system, means combined heat and power generation we also identify. Next slide, ma'am. In next what is what? The energy management procedure and the energy awareness training program within the establishment. It is an important view for the management of this process awareness of the energy. Existing baseline information and reports are useful to get consumption pattern with production cost and productivity level in terms of product per raw material inputs. That means the audit team should collect the following baseline data. That is technology process, use the equipment details, capacity of utilization, amount and of input material used, water consumption, fuel consumption. That data we should identify or collecting for this procedure in audit report through the audit team. Next slide. So next one is electric energy consumption, steam consumption, other inputs such as compressed air, cooling water, etc., quantity and types of waste generator, percentage rejection response, reprocessing, efficiency and yield. These some points are important for the to create the audit report. Next slide. That is the baseline reports. Okay, so data collection hints. It means what we see in data collection hint. we have to, it is important to plan additional data gathering that carefully. Here are some basic tips or avoiding the washing time, wasting time to efforts. So some measurements we are preparing this diagram in chart. That is, measurement system should be easy to use and provide the information to the accuracy that is needed, not accuracy that is technical possible. Okay, so we have to measurement systematic should be easy to providing the information for process. Next one, measurement equipment can be inexpensive flow rates using bucket and stopwatch. We have to measurement of the equipment expensive instrument we have to identify and how much energy they consumption in this procedure. The next one is what? The quality of the data must be such that correct conclusion are drawn. That means we have to grade or production is on the production normal level for the energy sources. Next one is define how frequent data collection should to be account for process variation. So we have to collect the data through the different departmental or different halls, different buildings. That is, should be accountable process for variation. The measurement exercise over abnormal workload periods such as the startup and the shutdown. We have to evaluate the morning time and evening time, means startup and shutdown we also evaluated. Design value can be taken whether measurement of difficulty, means cooling water through the heating exchange. Some of where we have to using the cooling water for the providing the students cooling water, and some of where we use the heating exchange or hot water for the different procedures. Next slide. So this drawn process flow diagram and listen process step identify waste stream and the abusive energy waste. We have to some points we absorb or we identify for this energy audit. That is, overview of the unit operation, important process, setups, area of material and energy use, and sources of waste generation should be gathered and should be represented in the flow chart as shown in the figure below. Okay, existing drawing, records and shop flow walkthrough will help in making this flow chart. Simultaneously, the team should identify the various inputs or output stream as each process we are described. For example, if you see a flow chart of penicillin G manufacturing is given in the figure 3.1. Below, note that waste stream means mesallium and obviously energy waste such as condensate, denied, and steam leakages have been identified in the flow chart. That means the audit focus depends on the several issues like consumption of input, resources, energy efficiency, potential impact of process steps on entire process of identify the waste generation or waste creation. This process also the energy consumption. In the above process, this process is important for the unit operators such as generator, pre-perminator, fermenter, and extraction of this identification. Next slide. So this is the penicillin G diagram on your screen. We see that is the procedure: extraction, filtration process, non-filtration tank, fermentation, pre-fermentator, and generator. That is the wastewater treatment plants we have to use in this process. If it's the raw material and energy we are creating in this procedure and to identification the process. Next slide. So what is the identify of the energy conservation opportunity. So how much energy consumption we have to conserve through the opportunity, that is the fuel substitution, energy generation, energy distribution, energy used by process. This process we have to identify. In fuel substitution, we have appropriate fuel or efficiency energy we are conserved. In energy generation, identify the efficiency opportunity in energy conservation equipment, utilities such as capacity, power generation, steam generation, boiler, thermic fluid, heating, optimality. These are the engineering instrument or processor which are involved in this. Energy distribution. In this energy distribution, we have distribute the chilly water, cool water, hot water, or any improved electrical system. Energy used by process. This process is that opportunity for the improvement, and many of the hidden process analysis is a useful tool for process integrated measurement of we can use. Next slide. What is the technical and economic feasibility? If we see the technical and economical feasibility, that is the technical feasibility should address the following some issues, that is the availability, space, skill, manpower, reliability, service, etc. It impacts the energy efficiency measure on safety, quality, production and process, also equipment. The maintenance requirement and spare availability is also the economic availability often become the key parameter for the management acceptance. That means the economic analysis can be conducted by using a variety of methods, that payback method, internal rate of the return method, that net value method, etc. That is easily to work out a simple sheet with assigning economic feasibility to provide the things. Next slide. So that is the sheet of this simple way. We have energy efficiency confirm. That is first investment, annual operation cost and annual saving. If you see equipment, in investment means equipment, civil work, instrumentation, auxiliaries, we are working in this, and that is the net saving year by rate by year, means that is the annual saving, annual operating, means how much energy we are consuming, and the how much rate we are pay for this bill, and how much month or year divided by this, and this equal to payback period in the month. It means investment of saving 1 year or it is 12 months. The annual operation cost means cost of the capital, maintenance, manpower, energy and distribution. We are mentioning this annual operation cost. And annual saving. In this annual saving, we are thermal energy, electric energy, raw material or waste disposal. We are work out this procedure, and that is the net saving year. This calculation or this expression, we have evaluated the total energy cost. Next slide. So classification of energy conservation measurement, that are the three types: lower cost, high return, medium cost, return, high cost, high return. This procedure, this three energy category, which based on the potential of the identification, which is the normally low cost, higher return projects, receive the priority, or other projects have to be analyzed and engineering the budget for implementation in the phased manner. That is the guidelines for the reflecting or creating the flow chart or calculation of this report in the low cost, medium cost and high cost. Next slide. This is the project priority guidelines. That is the priority. First, we see three columns, tables, in tables, column and rows. That is the priority, economic feasibility, technical feasibility, risk feasibility. If we see the priority, we are four, we are explaining this: A, good; B, maybe; C, held; D, no. That is the procedure in this chart. We are explaining the well defined as attractive, it is a good; existing technology adequate, is good; no risk, high facility, good; maybe for well defined only, managing acceptance; existing technology may update, lack of confirmation, is maybe; or minor operating risk, maybe; risk facility, maybe. C for held, poorly identify and managing, unacceptable; existing technology identified, doubtful, that is the held. And D for no, it means clearly not attractive, need major breakthrough, or not feasibility. That is the flow chart of this area. Next slide. So role of the energy and energy audit in higher education. My dear friends, if we see the higher education, education institution has a responsibility in relation to the society in which operates. Environmental impact has come a critical part of the measuring overall performance and ability to continue operating effectively. This is a part of the reflecting of the growing recognize of the need of the minimize operating costs that include the utility and the energy consumption through the identification. If we see the behind the role, the rise, awareness, sustainability, energy among the leader of the tomorrow, responsible utilization of energy resources will exemplify a commitment to promote sustainability energy in this process for the higher education. If it's a review of the various case study and best practices provides evidence on the effective use of the energy efficient technology that consumes minimal quantity of energy by improving the energy efficiency through reduction in the energy consumption. Stakeholder of the higher education institution will benefit from the maximize profit and increase the social responsibility to the community that creating the higher education. Next slide. So if we see, the green audit and energy audit is assigned to the criteria 7 of NAC, National Accreditation System Accrediting Council, which are the grade A, B, C and C are creating. So these are, see the diagram flow chart, see upward side, higher education is dependent on the social responsibility. Social responsibility is stakeholder, environment, stakeholder and environment is depend on the responsibility, energy utilization, that is depend on the sustainable energy supply. This flow chart is important. Why? Because the NAC is responsible, or that thing is that flow chart is depend on this process, and it is essential for the all energy audit, green audit way to the NAC procedure. Next slide. So that is the end of this presentation of green energy and energy audit. If any question regarding, you have to ask me, where we give to answer. I give to answer.